You can't equate the economy to people's lives. Life is very important. I think if we'd been told what they know, there's always an element that we don't know. We didn't know what they knew. They didn't tell us what they knew. They didn't tell us what the science was saying. You know, we had to figure it out ourselves. And Italy was shouting out. Italian nurses were shouting out at us what to do, you know. Wear masks, you know, don't shake hands, for instance. The advice was wrong at the beginning, totally wrong. Didn't trust our intelligence. They treated us like idiots, really. I was not happy with the government, and I don't think I ever will be. You know, I won't ever be happy with what's happened. You know, the number of lives lost, so many. Well, the lockdown to me was very unfavourable. I wasn't happy to do it. I can't believe I'm the age I am, and that I was vulnerable. I didn't like to be told I was vulnerable. You know, I was 72, but I keep quite fit. So, you know, I didn't get it at the beginning, but I followed the rules, did everything I was expected to do, and more. I didn't like the fact that we had to stay in. People over 70 had to stay in, you know, and had just have, after a while, a short period of exercise a day, and that was it. It just was, I just didn't understand that at all. I think I would have preferred to assume my own risk. I think I have the knowledge, and I read, and, you know, I can understand what's happening. I could understand what's happening after a while, you know, when I listened to the science. I think we all saw it coming, but didn't think it was going to affect us the way it did. I think the loneliness was the worst. You know, my husband and I, didn't see our children or our grandchildren, or, you know, people who died. You couldn't go to the funerals. An online funeral isn't enough, really. I was grateful for people who died before the lockdown, just before, that they had a proper funeral, strangely. One of my friend's husbands died going to work. Because he was going to work on an underground train, he didn't wear a mask because the government said you don't need to wear masks. They won't be effective. So he believed that, and he died of COVID. And the only reason he died was because he didn't wear a mask on the underground going to work. I blame that on the government, absolutely. And there must be many, many, many more. So his family were bereft. His wife and his children, his grandchildren. He was supposed to retire this year. That was our first online funeral. But part of my job is doing carer support, and I've never been busier. You know, so many people from our practice and from the community need help. Even friends needed help and didn't know it. And I was able to tap into, you know, areas that were able to help them, which was the most satisfying part, really. Underpaid NHS, underappreciated. A clap doesn't put food on the table. The NHS needs to be recognised for what they are. If we'd lived in America, you know, well, look what's happening in America. They haven't got an NHS. Years ago, the miners would go out and strike for the nurses, you know, to help us get an increased pay rise. People did appreciate the NHS more in the past than they are doing now. I think that a lot of people around here, they're voting Conservatives, and Conservatives don't want the NHS to continue. They really don't. They're selling it off bit by bit.